Buckets. Hello and welcome to this emergency podcast, episode 67. We were not planning on potting today. In fact, we texted yesterday and we were like, let's just wait until the trade deadline. We can go over all the trade stuff. But no, something insane has occurred in the NBA, and we wanted to get it out as soon as possible. But before, of course, how are you, Dom?
I'm so happy right now. No, I'm doing great, honestly. I'm a little hungover. I partied last night. I celebrated a little bit.
Why
Celebrated
we
a
couldn't do this
birthday.
early?
I know, honestly, I needed a second to be in bed. But I'm doing great. How are you doing on this fine Sunday?
I'm mind boggled. I still haven't quite processed this. We haven't talked about it a ton because we wanted to save it for the pod, as we like to say. I'm
Hmm.
wearing the Luka shirt, the looking up at Devin Booker. Funnily enough, I think about 3 days ago they posted this, and they said, "Okay, this will be the last time you post this picture, I swear." And then Devin Booker made like a retweet this morning and said, "I guess they were right."
Yeah. And
Um,
also yesterday they posted like Happy Texas Day or something random like that, and it just had Luca like in his like wearing cowboy gear, and they're like, "You're really gonna post this like 15 hours before you trade him
Well,
away?"
I'll tell you what, the people behind the scenes of the trade and the random person they've hired to do their social media are probably not in the same, level of information. Um, but yeah, it is Sunday. It is February 2nd, and about, I don't know, 15 hours ago or so, we got an absolutely insane trade, so we need to talk about it, and that's all we're doing today is talking about this trade.
Tell me the trade, Damon. Tell me
Here's the
tell me
trade.
what tell me what happened.
If you haven't been paying attention, the Los Angeles Lakers, Dom's Los Angeles Lakers, traded Anthony Davis, um, Max Christie, and their unprotected 2029 first round pick to the Dallas Mavericks for Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris. And then, unimportantly, somehow, I don't know how the Jazz were involved, but they ended up with Jalen Hood-Schifino and a second round pick from the Clippers and Mavericks for this upcoming draft. What were your
All
first reactions when you saw this? When you
okay.
saw this news, what is the first thing that kind of popped through your mind?
Okay, for sure, for sure. So, first off, shout out Saul who called me last night. We were on our way to my friend's birthday party. He called me and said, "Luca's a Laker. Luca's a Laker." And I said, "What are you talking about? You sound drunk." And he's like, "Dude, I'm not. I'm not drunk. I'm celebrating." And then he said, "Yeah, Anthony Davis, Max Christie, some picks." So my initial first thought was, okay, so we don't have a center, basically. That was my first thought. But then I was like, wait, hold up. We have Luka Doncic. That's okay. They were with Dwight Powell and they were able to make playoff runs with Dwight Powell at center. I think we can be okay. And trade deadline's not over yet. We'll see what happens. So I mean, at first, initially, I was worried about depth, but we did get Max Kleber, and he's definitely a rotational player. Markieff Morris.
Remember, he broke his foot. Talked about that last pod, so he's gonna be out for a while.
Oh, I forgot about that. So not a rotational player at this moment, but that's okay. And Luca's out for a bit, but I get it. This is a trade. I kind of like that we're finally. I don't want to say that it's not like a win now trade because Luca's on your team. You're trying to win now all the time for sure, and LeBron. But it's also like Luca is a franchise player. Like he's not even in his prime yet. So I love. I mean, I love this for the Lakers. I do. At the end of the day, I love it for the Lakers. Hate it for the Mavericks, and I love it. I guess for the Jazz, who got like a 17th guard on their roster. Um, so that's my thoughts as a Lakers fan. I am ecstatic as a Mavericks fan. I'm a little sad for them because I just can't. Just the disappointment. He was going to be the franchise player. He was the next Dirk. So, um, anyways, that's my thoughts. What about you?
Yeah, my initial reaction, because I, was just sitting here where I am right now on my computer, and I was just stopped doing whatever I was doing. I think I was playing a game or watching a show or something, and I looked at my phone, looked at Twitter, and I saw the trade, and I saw it on Sham's account, and I said, he's hacked. This is not real. This doesn't make any sense. Okay, I don't, whatever. And I'm looking around. I'm looking at different profiles and people I follow and stuff. And then I see, I think Chris Haynes, I think, also posted the trade, and I was like, oh, this actually like this is legit. Um, yeah, it's insane. It's insanity. A couple more things real quick, just some context before we really dive into the nitty-gritty. According to Mark Stein, another reputable reporter, Luka did not request a trade, so this was not coming from him. The Mavericks kind of initiated this on their own accord, um, and this was from Shams. The deal materialized in the shadows. That is what he posted. Apparently, LeBron, Luka, and Anthony Davis had no idea this was coming. So no sort of asking, you would think with those kind of star level players, typically they are involved in these decisions. Apparently that's not the case on this one. Um, I saw another thing online where somebody was reporting that LeBron was frustrated with AD, and then LeBron like retweeted that and was like, I think his literal quote was, "You a fucking lie." So yeah, it doesn't seem like LeBron was in the loop on this. Um, but yeah, apparently the Mavericks they approached the Lakers actually first, and they said, "You guys want Luka?" Um,
What?
and
What?
the Lakers
What?
said, "Huh? Yeah,
Yeah.
please."
Are you joking,
Huh?
or
Sure.
is this for real? Or yeah, for sure.
And it's apparently seen from the Mavericks' perspective as a quote unquote win now move. Um, and then today's press conference. We had the Mavericks general manager Nico Harrison. At the very end of it, he said, "The future to me is about 3 to 4 years from now." Typically, that sounds like he's kind of referring to like the general manager job because they're not long standing often. He said, "The future is 10 years from now." But they'll probably bury me, and then Jason Kidd was next to him in the press conference, and he referenced him, Jason Kidd, by then, or we'll bury ourselves. Um, so apparently he said, "I don't care about Luca. I want to win." And I guess guy that has been a top five player in the NBA for the last 5 years is not a win now player, according
Yeah,
to
Luka's
to him.
definitely not a. Yeah, no, he's never a win now. He definitely didn't lead the Mavericks to the finals last year.
Um, yeah, and then Dirk had a response. It was just the like surprised blushing emoji. That's all he posted. So it's a lot. It's a lot, and
Yeah,
the NBA media has been, in a frenzy and a storm, caught everyone off guard. The more I thought about it last night, I was dumbfounded. I was literally expressionless. Like I was just sitting here, like I don't even know like what to say, like because I don't get it. I truly do not understand this trade from the Mavericks' perspective at all. It makes no sense to me for a variety of reasons, and I can try to rant and rave as much as I can, but of course, I always want your input too.
yeah.
Um,
Let's talk it out. Let's talk it through each team. I think
I got this guy.
that's
I got
what.
him next to me too. I just got him
Oh,
for Christmas, and now he's dead to me. Now he's gone. Uh,
That's
I
so
gotta hold him
funny.
up for the not the thumbnail, but just hold him up for the video for the listener.
Yeah.
Um, so couple of things that I have issues with, of
Okay.
course. Like you said already, the Mavericks made the finals last year. They were in the finals against the Boston Celtics, who everyone thought was going to win the finals. Luka was the best player, I would say, in that series, in the final series. Even though they didn't win the series, I think he was the best player on the court. I think if you argued top five players in the last 5 years, Luka is probably like number two, number three. I would say Jokic with the three MVPs. He's probably first. Because defense I think is really important. I probably have Giannis there. He's been really good the last 5 years. And then I think I would be hard pressed to put anyone ahead of Luca at like three.
Yeah.
Shay's,
Agreed.
up and coming. I don't think
Mhm.
he's surpassed him quite yet. Steph is kind of on the decline. LeBron's on the decline. Embiid has been injured. Those other guys that you would consider. Kevin Durant has missed time in the top 10. I think Luca's right there. If I'm not mistaken, he won Rookie of the Year, and then got I think four consecutive or five consecutive, depending on how many seasons he's been in the league. all NBA first team appearances. This is not something I researched. I know this
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
have watched basketball.
So
And
basically, the only time he ever wasn't on an All NBA first team was his first year in
was
the
his
league.
first year
That's
in the
it.
league. And then, of course, this year he's injured. He's not going to make it because he's already missed, the certain amount of games threshold. Um, but before that, he has been a certified top five player in the league, and he's 25 years old. He's not even in his athletic prime yet, so to speak. I mean, this guy has showed up almost every season out of shape, and it's just like, all right, here's 35 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. And it's like, oh, okay. He makes it look effortless. It's crazy to me that the Mavericks would go this direction. I know we have talked about Mark Cuban not really being there as like the decision maker anymore since selling his like majority stock of the team, but he might want to go back because I don't know what they're doing over there in Dallas. Um, I think back to the draft where they traded up to get Luka because they were pick five and the Hawks wanted Trae Young. They had pick three, so they did like a swap, and I think Dallas gave him like a future pick. DeAndre Ayton was number one, whatever. Marvin Bagley was number two. He's been,
Whatever.
not great. And then they got this guy, this generational guy at number three, like Hall of Fame certified. I would say he's probably already the second best Maverick in the history of the franchise, probably. And
Yeah.
he was on the way to, I think, surpassing Dirk for that number one spot if he had played his whole career there. Um, so it's just insane to me that this would happen, and you get Anthony Davis, who is a great player, probably a top 10, 15 player at worst. He is older; he's like 31, I believe. I know they want defense probably, and he does that. But now they have him. They have Lively and Gafford. I know Lively is out into the playoffs, but that does kind of reflect the AD and Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee kind of thing they had going that Lakers championship run. What do you do with PJ Washington? Does he come off the bench? Is he your three now? I'm not sure. They just got a lot of big guys in that lineup. Um, you
Yeah.
probably,
So is it going to be, you think, like Kyrie, Clay, PJ Washington, Anthony Davis, Lively, I guess, till Gafford? If like, unless everyone's healthy,
yeah,
then maybe.
I don't know who they started. Yeah, who did you say at the two?
Oh, Clay.
Clay. Oh, yeah, I forgot Clay existed.
Yeah, me too. I only remembered him yeah, because I saw, so today the Mavericks got blown out by like
Oh, blown
50
out by
points.
the Cavs.
So, and Clay was the thumbnail for, because he's like the he was like the guy
Only one
pulling
left
them.
already.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I get that Anthony Davis also does fit, Clay and Kyrie's timeline, I guess, but you should be building around the Luka timeline. That should be the only
absolutely.
timeline that you care about. And I know it's a little tough because he's been a win now player basically since his second year. They tried the Porzingis thing. They tried obviously with Kyrie now. They just made the finals. I mean, I didn't understand what was the rush to move on, and if you're going to move on, the decision to get older. Um,
Yeah.
the decision to do it privately because you really wanted Anthony Davis, I guess, rather than, hey guys, we're open to trading Luka. I can imagine teams and packages they would be throwing out the wazoo for that
Literally,
guy.
it would totally dwarf like the Gobert trade. You know how that was such a big package,
Yeah,
and
it's a big package, and I think there's some other big packages. The Paul George trade when he went to the Clippers, they
yeah,
traded Shea, who of course they didn't know was going to be an MVP candidate. No one could have predicted that, but they gave up, I think, like five first round picks and three swaps. They got
it's a
one
lot.
pick.
Wait, so I'm glad you brought up picks because I do want to talk about the other part of this trade. So, except for the players, the Mavericks got the unprotected 2029 first round pick, right?
Hmm.
So let's talk about that. So a first round pick unprotected is a really, really high commodity,
Hmm.
right? But it's 2029 and it's the
It's
Lakers pick. So I'm like, okay, so 2029, 4 years from now, Luka's going to be 29. And do you think the Lakers are going to be bad? Like that
no,
pick's
probably
exactly.
not.
So what I'm like, that pick is a high commodity, but with Luke on the team, not anymore.
Yeah,
Like
it
maybe
was a high commodity.
because yeah, LeBron's gonna be retired, AD will be older. Now it's like, so what, you're gonna get pick 25 in 2029? It's a little ridiculous.
The Knicks just traded like four unprotected first round picks for Mikal Bridges. That just happened this summer.
Yeah, I think I also read that this is maybe the first trade in NBA history between two teams where it was two All-Stars. Like
Mm.
where's like a literally like an all-star for an all-star trade instead of like one all-star for like a lot of like role pieces and whatever.
Hmm.
Um but this is it's yeah, it's huge. I'm a little curious as to why the Mavericks decided to go this route. I mean, I you said you were dumbfounded. I mean, I'm just trying to be happy for the Lakers. This is funny. I was talking earlier with a friend. I was like, as soon as I heard about the trade, my mind immediately went to the mechanics. Like, how did it work? Why would the franchises do this? But I should have just been happy as a Lakers fan. You know what I mean? Because
Hmm.
I mean, let's talk about it. Who won this trade?
Um, I've been thinking about this. I've been pondering winners and losers, not of this
Yeah,
trade particularly, but I was thinking, the thought did cross my mind. Did the Mavericks just make the worst trade of all time?
yeah. I mean,
So
it's so they're a loser in
they're the
this.
loser.
What do you think? Okay, okay. We've talked a lot about Luke on the. What do you think? How do you think Anthony Davis fitting on the Mavericks? Do you think like that makes them better than they were with Max Christie? He has been doing a lot better recently too. So he's. But do you think now they're like gonna make it to the finals this year?
Um, Probably not. I I
Yeah,
don't think so. I'm trying to think like, who they would surpass over in the Western Conference. I mean, it does, the size they now possess, it does, I think, maybe possess a problem for the Thunder and their lack thereof with just Chet and Hartenstein are kind of the only big men they really like to run in their rotation. Um, Having AD, Lively, Gafford, PJ, that's a pretty big lineup to have down there. That maybe that helps them with that. Um, you know, I think Jokic can probably just beat this team still because he's just that guy. So that one I'm not sure of. I've already talked about the Rockets and how I don't really think they're like a serious, long-standing playoff threat or anything like that, even though they're the two seed. The Grizzlies are interesting. I'm not sure how they'll be come playoff time. I don't think this moves the needle for me. I don't think this is like I thought the Mavericks had a shot, and now I think they have a better shot.
yeah.
I think it's relatively the same, I guess, for now, but much worse in the future.
Yeah. It exponentially depreciates very quickly
Yeah.
from like maybe next year. And I mean, like, how are you gonna what guys are you gonna keep? Who's gonna leave? So like right now, unless they do more moves, but even then, I mean, how can you replace a generational talent like Luka Doncic? You can't. Who are they gonna get right now to like make up for that? There's no one really, you know?
I'm tr
Um,
I was just thinking, even if they win a championship this year, I still don't know if it's worth it.
it, it-
Because I feel like Luca would have brought them to at least two more finals over the next decade.
yeah, absolutely. I think you should do whatever move you can to if they knew if they were told, hey, if you get Anthony Davis, you will win a championship this year. I think that they would do it because that's organizations tend to focus on the present, right, and not the future. So I wouldn't be totally against them doing it, but the thing is like you have to be able to build upon it, and now you're not able to. So, and the thing is, they're not going to win a championship this year, so that's easy, easy enough. Wait, okay,
Right.
I want to flip it now. So, we talked about the Mavericks and how bad it was for them.
It's bad.
How good is it for the Lakers?
Well, it's interesting because I think it presents kind of a different issue where
Hmm.
Luca and LeBron are like 15 years apart age-wise. What is the timeline? I mean, the Lakers' timeline always feels like they're trying to win right now. It would be weird for them to just. It almost feels like a bail on the like championship with LeBron. They're like, actually, we can get Luca. We're just gonna take that and like whatever, like whatever happens, happens. But we can get Luca in the door. great. So do I think they're going to win a championship with Luka and LeBron? Probably not. Um, do I think that having Luka Doncic is going to be much better for your franchise 5 years from now than Anthony Davis? Yes, it will be very good for them, I imagine. So, um, this is solidifying the next Laker great, I guess, which is crazy to me.
So I want to talk about like lineups right now
Hmm.
because I'm curious. So I guess it'll be point guard Austin Reeves. And then I guess we would have Luca at the two, Dorian Finney-Smith at the three, or LeBron at the three, LeBron for what interchangeable, and then Jackson Hayes at the five. You know,
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's like that's obviously the weakest spot. Trade deadline's not done yet. I mean, a lot of names are floating around. Vucevic, that's floating around. Valanciunas. But I kind of also agree with you that it kind of presents the same thing that held back to me like the Kyrie Luka Mavericks, which is so funny to talk on the past tense because yesterday it was still.
Yeah.
And now it like a LeBron Luka Lakers is that I think even last year there were better role players around them to make that finals push. Now with the trade, yes, like maybe not this year, but 2, 3 years from now, this is going to be great, you know? But
Hmm.
we're gonna have to build those role players because right now we don't have that. So, the Mavericks last year could beat the Lakers now as they are, I think. Um, just because, you got PJ Gafford and like right now, I mean, you could just take it to the hole and Jackson Hayes will like get 3 fouls in 1 quarter, so
Hey, but when Christian Wood comes back, that'll be good.
it'll be better. But Luka and Christian would have already played together. We
So,
saw that.
congratulations on Luca reuniting with his favorite teammate, Dorian Finney-Smith.
I was thinking about that. I mean, it's not to say the Lakers aren't bad. We have Jared Vanderbilt, who's looked pretty good
All right.
on defense. Dorian Finney-Smith playing great defense. So I think if we just, it's hard to replace an Anthony Davis, especially if you're getting a Luka. And now you're like, what do we do now? But just getting a solid center and maybe like another piece that gives depth would be great. But I mean, Gabe Vincent's been playing a lot better. I remember sending you stats of like 0, 0, 0, 15 minutes. Now there's actually some stats in there, which is pretty sick. But we'll see what happens. As a Lakers fan, I mean, we have our next face, when
Hmm.
Kobe to LeBron, now we know it's going to be Luka. So,
I have something that was posted while we were potting.
okay.
A letter from Luca to Dallas.
You want to read it?
I'm gonna read it.
Okay.
I'm not gonna do the Luca voice because
Please don't.
Dear Dallas, 7 years ago, I came here as a teenager to pursue my dream of playing basketball at the highest level. I thought I'd spend my career here, and I wanted so badly to bring you a championship. The love and support you have all given me is more than I ever have dreamed of. For a young kid from Slovenia coming to the U.S. for the first time, you made North Texas feel like home. In good times and bad, from injuries to the NBA Finals, your support never changed. Thank you for not only sharing my joy in our best moments, but also for lifting me up when I needed it most. To all the organizations I've worked with throughout the Dallas community, thank you for letting me contribute to your important work and join you in bringing light to those who need it. As I start the next part of my basketball journey, I am leaving a city that will always feel like a home away from home. Dallas is a special place, and Mavs fans are special fans. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, Luca.
I mean, that's good. It's
Yeah,
it's it's sad. I mean, I think did we talk about this a few like podcasts ago of just like players we think will be lifers? Like Luca was on there for sure.
Luca. I was thinking about that last night. If you asked me, yesterday before the trade happened, who are the like most unlikely people to be traded? Luca would have been in my top five, top three. Like Luca, Wimby. Uh, that's like maybe the top two right there. Like people I would have been like, There's no way they're trading that guy."
Yeah.
Um,
I
so
would maybe put Giannis, but even that there's just so much,
yeah, even
back.
LeBron, I'm
But
like, he's old. They could trade him up.
yeah. Yeah, but like definitely as like a lifer, that's it's crazy. And I mean those are very nice words.
I was told he was
That he said.
not I was told. I read that he was stunned. Was the word I read. So
I mean, yeah, it's crazy how these things happen. Like you don't really you think about the trades like this, and they're just players in a roster, and then they play games, but don't really think about he has to move his family. He has to find schools for his kids, and it's like, and same Anthony Davis. I mean, LA's been his home, what, for like, how long has he been here? Like 6, 7 years?
Yeah.
So it's like, these are people, and now they have to uproot everything. And they yesterday at this time, they were they were
Yesterday at this time, the
thinking
Lakers were about to play in the Garden.
I mean, I'm like, I can't even describe like that feeling of like you're just at home, or like on, because like they're injured, right? So they're like watching their teams like from home, and then they like go to bed and they just get a call like, hey, yeah, so you got traded. It's like, what? That's crazy. Um, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I love this for the Lakers. I think winners. Do you think? Okay, here's a good question. Here's a
Okay.
good question. Do you think Luka is a winner in this trade?
That is that's a great question.
Thank you.
Um,
I think so too.
it's hard to say, because I do think, for the most part, the Mavericks have tried to build good rosters around him in his young career. I know they were kind of running out of assets there if this, next year or two didn't work out. But I don't imagine the Lakers have many assets to move around themselves. The one thing the Lakers do have the advantage of is it's the Lakers, and getting free agents to go play for the Lakers is pretty easy because it's in LA and popular team, etc. Probably a little easier than getting people to go to Dallas. So yeah, but I'm going to say for now it's not a win for Luka because I think the Mavericks are in a better place for a title run these next couple of years than the Lakers would have been now with him on there. Um, so yeah, I'm going to say it's a loss for the Mavericks. It's a loss for Luka. Could be a win for AD, maybe depending on what the Mavericks look like this year.
Yeah, that one's almost a bigger question mark to me, because he's older, and you know
You know,
who
it's
knows how long it's going to be there. I mean, how long he just signed an extension? How long is it? Like three more years, I think. So
I
it's
don't
like,
know. I was
I say it like
I don't know. I was thinking
that.
we haven't talked about this in the podcast, but I think we texted about it for a little bit. Shams had like the sit down with AD where they were talking about like he was just asking him about like what are your plans for the franchise and like the future and like stuff like that. Like 2 weeks ago, he was like asking him, and AD was like he was LeBron. He was like, oh yeah, we're not thinking about doing this and this and this, and now you got traded. So
Yeah.
that's crazy. That's another crazy aspect of this to me.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to admit that I think Luca loses in this trade, but I think for all the reasons that we've talked about, yes, like the Mavericks are definitely more set up right now, even though they've been slipping in the standings, a lot of injury stuff
Right.
for them, but like fully healthy, that team is a better team than the Lakers for sure. Um, but it is a win because he's gonna be on a team with LeBron, gonna learn a lot. Two guys with really high basketball IQs on the same team, gonna attract, like you said, free agents because you get to play with not just LeBron but now Luka Doncic. It's like the next.
LeBron's about to announce his retirement tour right now. So say, all right, I'm
Yeah, he's
I'm
like,
done with this. What are we doing?
I feel like now so I originally, if you would have asked me yesterday or 2 days ago, I would have been like, I think LeBron's going to play 2 more years, not including this year.
Hmm.
Now, I think it's one. Now I'm like, I think he's like, okay, I got to do one. He's like, I got to do one more because I have to. I'm not just gonna like play
He
my
has to
last
announce
game,
it.
and yeah, yeah. He's not gonna be like, all right, this is my last game. He's gonna do like a whole,
Yeah,
season long.
for sure.
So, but yeah, I definitely think that. But I honestly also don't think that's a bad thing necessarily for the Lakers because it's going to free up a lot of room, cap space. So
A
like,
new Lakers era is coming. The Luca era.
I'm honestly excited. I'm really excited for it. Like this has been great. We got a championship in this era. We did. A lot of teams can't say they ever did, So we got LeBron, got AD with it, like first or second year, I think we got the 2020 championship.
Hmm.
Now, been trying to make it work for the last 5 years, hasn't really worked, and that's fine. It's time to, and hey, if we're starting with anybody, Luka's the guy. I mean,
Right.
I can't not smile and be happy about it. Like if I could have picked anyone, it's him. 100 times out of 100, you know? So no, yeah, I'm absolutely happy for the Lakers and for the
Not
fans.
not only do I think this could be the worst trade of all time for the Mavericks, I also think this may be the most stunning trade of my NBA lifetime.
Oh, for
Like
sure.
I
Yeah.
was, it was so out of nowhere that I was like, I literally was speechless. I couldn't mouth the words or like form thoughts. You said Saul called you. I knew you were going to a party. That's why I texted you. I called Jared,
Mhm.
uh, and I called him on Discord because he was online playing a game, and he said, "What's up?" And I said, "Luka's a Laker," and he said, "Huh?" And then like we talked about it for a little bit, but there were lots of moments where I was just sitting there like silently processing and I was like,
No,
I can't like literally I couldn't explain the like feelings that were going. It was so like I had never in a million years would I think this trade would have happened. Even like Kevin Durant signing to the Warriors. I wasn't expecting that to happen when it happened, but I was like, oh, that like kind of sucks. This was so like literally not in my realm of possibilities in my brain.
yeah. Well, I was gonna say like if there was another trade, I think the one for me that really surprised me, but not to this extent by any means, was Kevin Durant to the Suns.
The
Because I remember
Suns.
just like walking from out after an open mic, and I just saw Suns trade for Kevin Durant, some like player. I'm like, okay, that's crazy, but like I was like, okay, okay, I get it. But Saul called me, says that, and I'm just like, what do we? I was like, dude, I have to call you back. I need to like look this up. So it's funny because he texted me today. He's like, "Hey, do you like the trade now?" And I was like, "What are you talking about? I'm super happy about it." He said, "Last night you sounded like you were unsure." It's like because I didn't understand what was happening. It's like I just didn't understand. I couldn't wrap my head around it.
Oh,
Um,
I did want to bring this up. My
please,
my coworker Mike, big
yeah.
Dallas fan, Dallas sports fan.
Oh.
Um, and I wanted to bring our text conversation up. I texted him at 11:30, and I said, "Mike," in all caps, "Mike, are you awake?" And then he said, "I'm looking now. I don't get it. WTF?" And then I sent him screenshots and stuff of the trade. He said, and Mike, for some context, he's like a middle-aged uh, man. And he said,
Okay.
"Wow, I'm truly bummed. Nico has some answering to do." And then we talked about because I was on call to Jared. We talked about what Jared was saying for a little bit. And this is what Mike said. I'm totally dumbfounded. It's going to be hard to keep being a fan, honestly. Good thing the Rangers look hopeful again. And I was like, that is painful. I was
That
like, that is a
hurts.
painful text message to get.
I saw I was looking on Twitter too a little bit, and some fans in Dallas staged like a fake funeral
I
carrying
saw
like
that they brought a
yeah
coffin to the
yeah
to the
carrying a
stadium.
coffin. Which is I mean that's just dumb and funny, but it's hard if we traded Anthony Davis and we didn't get a Luka Doncic or someone almost of that caliber, I wouldn't lose faith in the Lakers. You know what I mean? I'd still be a fan, right?
Hmm.
But if I had Luka Doncic on my team and we traded him for an aging player, it's like if the Spurs traded Wimby because they're like he can't win right now. Like, what are you talking
We're gonna
about?
get rid of him for Jalen Brown.
Yeah, it's like
What?
in what universe? Yeah, yeah. So I hope Mavericks fans don't lose hope too much. I only want the best for the Mavericks, but it doesn't look good. It really doesn't. And can you, I cannot think of a bright side. Max Christie is a really good player, but he is going to be what he is. And he's not going to be anything more. You're just getting a whole bunch of role players. I mean, it's not even close to the talent that Luca is.
I mean,
So,
I think the like bright side, I guess, for Mavericks is that you managed to win a championship in the next 5 years with this core and hope Luca kind of flounders in LA. Really.
and then that's such a terrible thing to want, you know what I mean? But Luca, I mean, you see him. It doesn't matter who his teammates are. He led the Slovenian national team to a bronze, like they almost did the gold medal match, and he
Yeah,
was surrounded by like people, very good basketball players, but not in the NBA, not
not
in the
NBA
highest.
talent, right?
Yeah, so it's like you really hope he's gonna flounder in LA, Los Angeles, where I mean, I don't even play basketball professionally. I would do anything to play on a team with Luka right now. So
Yeah, go get
yeah,
that 10-day for the Lakers. See who we
dude,
can squeeze in there.
please. That'd be so sick. That'd be amazing.
Um,
I would just right on the bench, but it's fine. I could be there, witness it.
Also, I'm going to shout out another coworker, Gabe, who has texted me twice today saying, "Where's that podcast? I'm waiting."
Hey, hey, it's coming. Actually had a few people text me too. It's like, hey, don't. They're like, what are your thoughts? Like, I'm about to send you a link. I'm about to send you a link to listen to.
This is what you get.
Yeah. It's so funny because we're gonna talk about this for 30 minutes. I think it's been like 45 minutes. But it's funny because like I'm so glad we're doing this episode right now because if we saved it, that would be a
Mhm.
4 hour episode. So, I mean, I don't know if you can tell, I'm just really giddy right now. I'm
This
just
needed its
so
own. It
happy.
needed its own thing. It needed
It's
its
it's
own
super
thing.
important. It's like if something really big happened with the Rockets, I feel like we got to do something like this too, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
even it's Luca. It's like
it's yeah,
what?
yeah, yeah. So, and now my next question is, do I get a Mavericks Luka jersey on sale or do I just wait to get a Lakers one? That's the question. His eyes are black. I hate
I
that.
know it's it's so
It's so
like
creepy.
off-putting.
They're black like a doll's eyes.
Um, why don't you get both? Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah. Okay.
Get the graffiti one on sale.
I was just about to say that only the Mavericks graffiti Luka jersey.
Or like the really not good city ones with the like white and silver that from this year.
That one, or it could be the camo. Was he there for the camo? No,
I
I
don't
don't
know if
think
he was there
so.
for the camo. He was there for the
Okay.
gold with like the wings kind of.
Dude, I'll never forget. It was terrible. But okay, in all seriousness, I would love to get a Luka jersey, like with the blue says Dallas and it has the green.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when the jersey they wore when he like they came back and beat the Knicks with like when he made that like layup
Oh
or
yeah
like
yeah
missed
yeah
the
yeah.
free throw and everything.
Yeah.
Like the jersey they wore, that'd be a fresh jersey. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do everything I can.
What a what a crazy day in the NBA.
What a like what a it's funny because this happened in the middle of the weekend, but still like it's a good weekend. It's a beautiful day. The sun is shining, man. Here in Los Angeles. In Dallas, it is dark and gray.
It's not looking
Especially
too good over
because
there.
you got the notification that Lucas traded, and then you go to the Cleveland, and at the end of the first quarter, it's 50-19. You're like, what is happening?
Oh man. I yeah,
Um,
if I'm a Dallas fan, I'm sick to my stomach.
yeah, it's tough. I do feel bad, but I'm just
I,
so dang happy.
I don't think you can realistically do this. I mean, they did, but I don't think you should have realistically done this without talking to the players. It's
No,
crazy that they didn't talk to the players.
I mean, it's what I mentioned earlier. It's like these are human beings, and you just kind of are talking about them as like they're placeholders on a roster. It's like there's so much more that goes into being an NBA player than just, oh, let's just do this move, but let's not tell anyone, especially like your franchise players.
Yeah.
Even Anthony Davis. Yeah, it's just like to be blindsided like that's crazy. I can't imagine. If my job was just like, hey, you're gonna have to go work in Dallas right now. I'm like,
Like
I'd be
what?
like, I have a life here. It's like, no, you don't. Like, oh my God. Oh no. Do I quit? It's like,
You
what do
can't quit, actually. You signed a contract.
I know, I know,
You
no,
have
I
to
know.
go.
Oh my God. I quit. It's like, you can't. Oh, you got me. Uh, yeah,
Oh
anyways.
man.
Wow,
Um yeah,
man.
Luca in LA.
I can't
We'll
wait to,
definitely have to go to like a Lakers Rockets game in
dude,
the Yoda.
there's no, it's fun. Oh, I mentioned this right before the pod, but my birthday's next Sunday. I was going to go looking at tickets to go to a game on Monday against the Jazz. It was like it was like $60. I was like, okay, I'm going to do $60, nosebleeds. I looked today, it's like 120. It's like, oh my God, he's not even going to play. Ah, anyways, I'm going to keep up with that.
Should have
Um,
known they were going to trade for Luka.
I should have known. Why didn't they tell me? They should have told me. They're not going to tell each other. You should tell me at least. Yeah. Anyways, wow.
So
This
that's
is
all.
crazy.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see like what happens next. I'm really excited. I mean, now I just want to see these teams
I want to see
play.
him suit up
I want to
with
see
all the guys.
absolutely with
Yeah.
everybody fully healthy and just play like I'm pretty sure the first time I see Luka take the court in a Lakers uniform, I will shed tears. I'm pretty sure I will. Um, I mean, just thinking about it, I'm getting overwhelmed with emotion.
Yeah.
So it's
Uh,
pretty great.
next time we'll talk about the
Whatever
rest of the
else.
trade deadline
Yeah. We'll talk about the Jazz trading Drew Eubanks.
on his birthday.
Oh yeah, on his birthday.
So good.
It is so funny.
But yeah, we needed to just throw
Yeah.
everything else out the window, talk about this. Mavericks lose, Lakers maybe lose. I don't know. Everyone loses. The Lakers win starting 2 years from now. Um,
Lakers fans win 100%. Like there's no if, ands, or buts about it. It is a win for us.
we'll see. We'll have to see how it looks on court. I'm not sure. So like I
I
said,
mean,
even if by some miracle the Mavericks win a championship this year, I don't know if it's worth it. I
yeah.
still,
No, that's a very good take. And I mean, if I'm being honest too, like doing a trade, okay, also a mid-season. Oh no, no,
mid-season as
that's what it
well.
was. That's what it was. This is the first trade in NBA history between two All-Stars mid-season. That's what it was.
Okay.
Because it happened on the off season, but not
I
during
see.
like the season. Um, like in all honesty, I don't think the Lakers are contenders now this year by any means, as it is right now. Especially
Mhm.
like you said, like LeBron, Luka, very ball dominant players. I mean, Luka has played with with Kyrie, so he's kind of used to it, but very different players, different styles. Um, so do I think this year they're gonna like make a run? Probably not, but because you're gonna have the off season, you're gonna have like training camp and everything to kind of gel. So, I mean, also the fact that he's playing with a player he's played with before, Dorian Finney-Smith. You have a coach who has known Luka and played with Luka, which is also can't really say that about a lot of coaches in the
Yeah.
league. So, um, that's all pluses to me. And even though, I mean, did I think with AD we were going to win a championship this year? No, but now looks a little bit better for next year. So
JJ Redick losing
I'll
his
take it.
mind.
Yeah.
Unlike Jason Kidd, who spent the entire press conference with his
Dude,
head in his
I'm
hand.
gonna be using that picture for so long. Oh my
Um,
God. Yeah. Get me out of here, man.
it's
They're gonna
it's
bury me. Like, why are you bringing me into this? That's what it's just so funny. He's like, they're gonna bury me, and Jason Kidd's like, why are you why me?
he's like, I didn't agree to this trade. The
I hate this.
hell?
Oh my God, so funny. Wow. Okay. I think we did it.
We did it.
Yeah. All right, take the yeah, I gotta take the shot, of
Gotta take
course.
the shot for Luca. This one's for
Uh,
Luca.
for Luca. Ah, you know.
Fuck, I knocked over my cat's water bowl.
Oh, you gotta clean it up.
I sure did.
All right. Anyways, thank you again for listening to this emergency episode.
I'm uploading it
We
right after we're recording it.
thank you. Yeah. We normally don't do emergency episodes like this, but this is absolutely a special case. So, this is your first time listening. Thank you. And we'll catch you next time on Two Man Game with Damon and Dom.
Buckets.